like, girl, I don't know how to do this. So thank you for your patience.
Girl, you are fine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You look so beautiful.
Thank you. So do you. I love your hair.
Girl, I did this for you today.
I love it.
I was like, let me come correct. I said, let me come correct for First Lady, okay?
I love it. You look gorgeous. Thank you so much for having me.
We are so excited, Karen. Somebody was just in the chat saying, can I ask questions? I have questions too, because I'm so excited for tonight's premiere. So we are all excited to have you. How are you feeling? Tonight is the season 2 premiere. How are you feeling? How are you spending the night tonight?
I'm excited and nervous, and a whole ball of nerves, but it'll be quiet. I'll be live tweeting, so if anybody wants to join us on Twitter, we'll have like the whole virtual watch party, and we'll be responding to tweets. But it'll be quiet because I'm nervous. So
you're nervous. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Before we dive into everything, the Oval, and just everything about you, I want to go back a little bit, if you don't mind, to Detroit, to where you were born and raised, and like how we got this beautiful queen that we have sitting in front of us today. So I want to go back a little bit. So you grew up in Detroit, and that's actually where you got your start, right? Because you were a child actor. Can you talk to us a little bit about how that came to be?
Well, as a child, I did do some acting as a child, but I never really took it too seriously. I've always been really shy and introverted. So I was more interested in music and singing than I was in, performing acting. So I went to school for something completely different. I went to college for psychology, biology. I was pre-med, pre-physical therapy. And after graduating, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, because I decided that I didn't want to go that route. And I was working in a corporate environment for a while, and something hit me on the way home from work, because I hated my office job. I hated it so much. And something hit me and said, hey, go to broadcasting school. I'm like, why would I do that?
Right.
But I just kind of followed that voice. I went ahead and went on to Specs Howard School of Broadcast Arts in Southfield, Michigan. I graduated at the top of my class, but while I was there, one of my instructors encouraged me to go seek out a talent agent. And, the idea of that was just so bizarre to me. I'm like, why? Why would I do that? And also, I'm so introverted. I don't think, that's something I want to do. I can read, scripted things. I didn't know that I didn't think that was a route that I wanted to take, but I did take his advice, obviously.
Right.
And I found a talent agent and kind of got bit by the bug. I started booking right away, did a lot of theater, a lot of commercials, and that led me to Atlanta.
Wow. And I just want to go back a little bit, because you did say you attended University of Alabama, where you got your bachelor's in psychology, and then you ended up working in commercial insurance. And I want to ask you, at that point in your life, Karen, in your life and in your career, I know you talked a little bit about you hated your job, you didn't like it. Were you feeling like there was more? And were you yearning for more? And were you set out to go after the more that you desired at that time?
Absolutely. I really do believe that we are not put here to be miserable. We all have a calling, and we all have our own gifts that are unique to us. Right. And it's up to us to tap into those gifts. And your gifts, if you're spiritual, your gifts will make room for you. I believe it hands down, because I live it. So, once you find that thing that makes you want to get up in the morning, that thing that you live for, that you breathe for, that you just enjoy, that's where you need to be. So that's how I feel about it.
And I want to ask you, what advice would you share? Because did you ever feel like, were there moments for you when you're working in that job? Were there moments for you where you felt stuck, or where you felt like, your dreams were too big and that's not going to work. Let me just sit here and do what I have to do and keep it pushing and just dream the big dream. Did you ever feel like that? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, I was miserable every day. Like I would literally go get my coffee and my little cup of oatmeal and sit at my desk, have a good cry every morning, and then hit the day, Right. But I never once felt that my dreams were too big, because why would I have them? Why would I have them if they were too big? You know,
Right.
so I never felt that they were too big. I just knew that it would take a lot of persistence and a lot of dedication to get where I wanted to go. So it's not an easy, you know, road to travel, but you know, I don't think anything that's worth having is.
I totally agree. And like you just said, nothing easy is worth having. Well, the journey won't be easy, right? And so
Right.
I want to ask you, as a Black woman in this industry, right? We're in Black History Month. We just recently lost a legend, Cicely Tyson, who paved the way for Black women in Hollywood and just Black people in general. I want to ask you, what has been your experience as a Black woman trying to book jobs and trying to land roles in this industry? Have you faced discrimination? Have you faced, you know, where you felt like, okay, I don't know if this is for me? Can you speak a little bit about your experience being a Black woman in Hollywood?
I don't know that I have faced blatant discrimination, but there have been times where, say, for example, I was pinned for a job, which means that for those who aren't in the acting world, it means that, you know, you're being considered and you're in the top running and they really like you and they want to hold you until they make a final decision. And something like, and I won't mention the project,
Right.
but the role called for a young, fresh-faced African-American woman. And at the last minute, my agent called me and he said, yeah, the director called me and he really, really loves you, but they're going with a white, blue-eyed Italian actor, male actor. So, you know, I don't know if it's discrimination or politics, but either way, it doesn't feel good. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And how have you handled rejection? Just even not being a Black woman, but being in this industry that's not, you know, it's not the most easiest industry. And then couple that with being an African-American woman, how have you handled rejection and the word no in this industry? How have you handled that?
Lots of therapy and tequila.
Oh!
No, really. No, you know, it's one of those things where going into it, you have to understand that rejection is just part of it. It's part of the journey. And once the more I embraced that, the more I was able to, you know, be okay with it. You know, initially it was very hurtful because, like I said, when I first signed with my agent, I booked everything I went out for probably the first 6 months.
Right.
I mean, be it theater or commercial, whatever. I was booking. And the first no I got devastated me. And, you know, I was grateful to have a mentor, and she's been in the industry for a long time. And she said, look, this is part of it. Toughen up. You got to have thick skin. It's not personal. It's just part of it. So, you know, the more I embraced it, like I said, the easier, I won't say the easier
Right.
it was, but it was something that I could wrap my head around a lot better. Now, I won't say that I haven't considered quitting because, you know, I joke that, you know, I used to quit every other week because it's a lot. It's a lot
Right.
to take, you know, that much rejection. Imagine, you know, for people who aren't in the industry, imagine going to a job interview. You go to, say you go to 5 job interviews a week. And for 3 weeks, every day you get a no, we'll pass. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. So, you know, it takes a lot of persistence and a lot of drive, and you just have to, you know, have tough skin.
And we're thankful for your tough skin and your persistence and your hard work, because we have now a season 2 happening tonight of The Oval. Tyler Perry's The Oval, only on BET. I am so excited. People love this show, but you almost didn't go to the audition, Karen. You had auditioned for several other projects for Tyler Perry, so you weren't like interested in this one. Talk to us a little bit about why you almost missed out on this audition, and we're thankful that you didn't. But talk to us a little bit about your process to, you know, go ahead and go to the audition and book this role.
Well, one thing was that, you know, when I got the sides for the sides, which for people, like I said, who aren't in the industry, is a portion of the script that, you know, you audition from. I didn't know if I could fill the shoes of that role, you know? And I also didn't want to come off as the angry Black woman. I didn't want to be what people would typically expect,
Right.
you know? So I wanted to be quiet. I wanted to be stealthy. I wanted to be, you know, I call her, you know, she's kind of reptilian in that way. I wanted to be that because, you know, it was, I think, completely the opposite of what they would have been expecting. The other thing is that, like you said, I have auditioned for Tyler Perry on several occasions. I've known his casting director for a number of years, and I've been fortunate enough to work with him on a couple of occasions for day player roles. But I've never been invited for a lead role. So, you know, something in me was just like, no, why me kind of thing.
Right.
You know, and so it was a little bit of intimidation, I think. Yeah. And so even going into the audition, you know, there's a room full of these beautiful, talented, seasoned actresses. And I'm like, okay, not that I'm not talented or seasoned, but it's just
and beautiful.
Thank you, but it's just a little bit intimidating.
Right.
So you know that was the whole thing behind not initially wanting to read for the role.
Okay, so you go into the room, you read for the role. How long before you get a call back that you book First Lady Victoria? How long did it take?
I think I auditioned on a Wednesday, and Tyler was not present at the audition. So, you know, I put my audition on tape with his casting directors. And on Saturday, it's kind of a funny story. I was preparing to do another self-tape audition, and my phone is usually on silent, and I don't usually have it nearby like on the weekends because it's just kind of like my downtime, my quiet time with my family. And I was preparing for this audition. I was doing my makeup and everything. And I looked down at my phone and I have all these missed calls and these text messages. I'm just like, what the heck is going on Saturday morning? Who is trying to call me? Like, I'm not that popular, you know? And, you know, I got a call from my agent. I got a call from the casting director, and they were saying, well, Mr. Perry would like to speak with you. And I'm just like, why? I didn't touch anything at the studio. I didn't see anything from the studio. Like, I don't need this drama in my life right now. I got to get to this audition. Like, what are you talking about? And
I cannot.
Right. And then I got a text from Tyler, and he said, it said verbatim, Tyler Perry here. I'd like to speak with you. I'm like, okay. And I said, well, I'm available. And he called me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why did you think it was something that you had done first? Why didn't you think it was that you?
I mean, you know, it's that thing. It's that imposter syndrome thing. You know, I think
that we all suffer from.
We all suffer from it at some point. And I'm just like, well, it didn't even occur to me. That was not even my first thought, that he would be calling to offer me, you know, the role. I'm like, he's got to be calling for something else. It couldn't be, you know. So I think it's a bit of the imposter syndrome, and I'm glad I got over it very quickly.
So are we. Are we. Because you have to tap into a very, you know, vicious role with Victoria. First of all, I want to ask Karen, how has this role changed your life? How has, you know, when you got that call and you know, landed the job, you're on set the first day, and now looking back, you're getting ready to do a season 2, the premieres tonight. How has this role changed your life?
It's changed my life in many of the obvious ways people would expect. You know, I'm recognized when I go out, except for when I wear my mask. Unless I have on lashes, people recognize me with you know, from here to here. But I'm not. I was recognized by the general public, which was something to get adjusted to. It's been wonderful, but it's something to get adjusted to for it to happen overnight for somebody. It's kind of, you know, kind of weird initially, but people have been so sweet. That, and playing the role of Victoria, I tell people all the time that I have had to, because she is so volatile, there have been things, or there have been moments when I've been performing a scene and I come out of the scene and I have a pit in my stomach because I was able to connect with her in a way that I don't know that I should have been able to connect with her. So there were some things that I had to deal with and unpack in, you know, in playing the role of Victoria. So it's been therapeutic for me. I've had to, you know, like I said, unpack some things, purge some things, deal with myself, You know,
Right.
and that's not always easy to do, but I think that has been one of the greatest blessings of it all.
Wow. And we all love it. I mean, the people are speaking here, and I'm pronouncing it right. It's Karen, right? It's
It
Karen.
is.
Yeah. Somebody said she's saying Karen. I'm not saying Karen. I'm saying Karen. But why do you think viewers love this show so much? It's dysfunctional, right? It's crazy. It's everything that we love, I guess. But why do you think the viewers gravitate to it?
Well, I think, you know, we all want to know what happens behind the doors of the White House. So, you know,
Right.
the story pulls back the curtain and gives you a peek into what could be happening. We hope it's not happening, but, you know, all of the dysfunction that could be happening. And it's escapism. You know, we deal with so much heaviness in our, especially over the past year,
Right.
with all of the social unrest, the political unrest, COVID, all of it. Sometimes we just need a break and we just need to veg out on something that's completely insane and ridiculous and just escape into it so that
Right.
we can just have some levity.
I mean, and that's what we need. I want to ask you, are we going to get any of like the real, like given the political climate that's going on now and everything that unfolded last year, and even, you know, with the mess that happened at the Capitol this year, are we going to get any of those real stories, political stories that play out this season?
No, you know, I think Tyler has done a really good job at staying away from that for the reasons probably that I mentioned just now. So, you know, we are, it's truly an evening soap. So we are not dealing with the politics, we're dealing with the relationship. So that's where the focus is.
Definitely. And so what can we expect? You know, the finale kicked us out of our beds, threw us on the floor. We were like, wait a minute, now wait 1 second. What can we expect to see happening in season 2? Can you give us any tease, any surprises? I'm sure we're gonna be surprised.
You're going to be surprised through the entire season, starting with the premiere episode. I can say that the series picks up exactly where it left off in season 1. So we'll see what happens with Jason and Gail when they go off with their grandmother. Victoria sends them off with their grandmother. We'll see some things happen with Victoria and Sam. That's an interesting relationship. Victoria, Sam, and Priscilla, because Priscilla was unhappy when we last saw her. So we'll see what happens with that. And, you know, Barry still has not found his daughter. So he's got to find his daughter. So we'll explore all of those things, and all of the characters have come into their own. So we will get to see them grow and become really grounded in themselves. And for Victoria, I think you'll see perhaps a softer side to her this season.
Ooh. You
So,
don't say. A softer side.
Yeah. So, you know, if you thought last season was hot, this season is going to take you to the king. It's out of control.
Girl, what is Twitter going to be saying?
Listen, I cannot. Twitter it's so hilarious. I live for it. It's hilarious.
Hilarious, especially Black Twitter, because that cuts up, honey. Cuts up. Do you hear me? What was it like going back to work in the pandemic? Because your show was one of the first of Tyler Perry's shows to go back to work. Can you talk to us a little bit about what it was like and, you know, the safety precautions that were in place for you guys?
Yeah. Well, like you said, we were one of the first to go back. And what happened was that Tyler had us all on a Zoom conference, and he said, hey, listen, I have this idea so that we can get back to work. I want to do a camp quarantine. And he said that, you know, if any of us were uncomfortable with it, he wouldn't do it. So everyone was everyone was on board. And, you know, we did all of the testing leading up to checking into camp quarantine. And it was exactly that. He had 300 plus cast and crew sequestered on the campus of Tyler Perry Studios for, I think it was about 2.5 to 3 weeks. Yeah, and so, you know, they took all of the necessary precautions while we were on set. We had to be in masks all the time unless we were either eating or performing in a scene. So all of the precautions were taken. We had some fun, you know, in our downtime. We had movies on the lawn and food trucks and music, and we were able to ride bikes around the campus, which is beautiful, by the way. But he was able to keep us all safe. We had no instances of COVID while we were there, so we got everybody in and out safely.
Wow. That's amazing. And I want to ask you, Karen, what has it been like working with Tyler Perry? I know you talked about the nervousness you had when he sent you the message and said to call, or he wanted to speak to you about the role, and then when you finally got the call from him. What has it been like, you know, looking back when you first, you know, met him to where you are now? What have you learned from working with Tyler Perry?
Gosh, that is such a loaded question. And, you know, I get it all the time. What I will say is that it has been an educational experience that I don't think I could have gotten anywhere else. Tyler is, he's very driven. He's a visionary. He knows exactly what he wants. And I dare you to find anybody to work harder than him. Like, he has a work ethic that is unmatched. So just being around that is a learning experience in and of itself, because he leads by example. You know, he's an amazing humanitarian. He's funny. You know, we have a lot of fun on set. Our days go really, really fast. Like, we go hard. We do more in a day than most people do all week. So, you know, we work really, really hard, but, you know, it's broken up. Sometimes I tease that Medea will show up to set. You just never know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. And so he's a lot of fun. He's focused, but he is a lot of fun. And so I'm glad to have that experience and to have, you know, him lead by the example that he does.
And how has he inspired you personally, like within your own life? Have you, like, you know, watching and learning from him and put some of that, you know, into your own life and what you do on your day-to-day, or in your, you know, even in your work? Have you taken some of that at all?
Absolutely. One thing that he encourages us to do is to dream bigger and to know that, you know, if we're here, if you're where you deserve to be where you are, you know. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
So it's, yeah, if you have a seat at the table, you deserve to be there. So take advantage of it, learn what you can from it, and dream bigger. He even has the main building on the campus of Tyler Perry Studios is called the Dream Building.
Right.
And that's where, you know, the actors live when we're there, and the corporate offices and everything are. And it's just a place for us to dream. And he really does encourage that growth in us.
Wow. We see on the show, The Oval, an interracial first family, but race is not often mentioned, right, at all. How does this family and show highlight and inform representation?
I think by example. You know, like you said, race is not necessarily addressed in the show, and I think that's truly by design. I mean, and love is love. Even though Victoria and Franklin don't love each other, but you know, their race should not be a factor into anything. I mean, they have a relationship. They're married. They're people. People are people, and that it's as simple as that.
I love it. Okay, Karen, tell the people why they need to tune in tonight to BET to watch the season two premiere go down of The Oval. Tell us. I already know I'm watching, but tell the people that are on here why they need to watch.
Okay. Season 2 of The Oval, like I said before, it picks up where season 1 leaves off, and Tyler turns up the heat so high from the very first episode. You will be surprised at where it goes from there. But I'm telling you, if you don't have your wig secured, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Yeah. I get that bold hold together, you know.
Girl, get it tight.
It's going to be an amazing, crazy roller coaster ride through the whole season.
Wow. We cannot wait. We cannot wait. I want to talk also, so you guys make sure you tune in so we can get the ratings up as they were for season 1.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about Stargirl, because you are booked and busy, homegirl. High five. Booked and busy. I love to see it.
Thank you.
You are back, and you guys are currently in production on season 2 of DC Stargirl. You play Bridget Chapel, the mother of Beth. Talk to us a little bit about what this opportunity has been like to work with DC and to work on this show.
It's been amazing. I mean, and working on the 2 sets, it's kind of like night and day. Right. But you know, it's a wonderful experience to get, you know, I guess both sides of the same coin. You know,
Yeah.
working with DC Universe has been amazing. Jeff Johns is a beautiful person. I can't say enough nice things about him. The cast is great. It's a family environment, so we all feel very welcome there. And playing the role is fun. I mean, I'm on a superhero show. Like, I mean, it's so much, it's so much fun, and I get to play the mom of a superhero, and the character is so different from Victoria Franklin that
Yes.
you know, I'm enjoying that you know, versatility as well. You know, she has her issues too, but she's not Victoria. So
She's definitely not Victoria.
no.
At all. What can we when can we expect to get a season 2 premiere date? Can you tell us anything? Spill some beans now.
We don't have a premiere date just yet. We're
Okay.
in the middle of filming season 2. So
Okay.
as soon as I get one, I will definitely let everyone know. But the season 2, people are going to be pleasantly surprised with that as well.
I cannot wait. And then I want to talk, you mentioned earlier, but you kind of breezed over it, music, your music career, because let's not forget about that beautiful voice of yours.
Thank you.
Are we going to get some more music from you? Like, I mean, in quarantine, have you been like doing some tracks that we don't know about? What can you tell us?
I have not been doing any secret tracks. I don't know. My brother, he's interested in singing. And so, you know, we have kind of tossed around the idea of doing like maybe like a little cover song or album, even maybe. We'll see, as kind of like a duet, a brother sister duet type thing. And I've also joked around with Ed Quinn from the Oval that, because he has a musical background as well, that maybe we'll have like the Oval, the musical. And
We need that. Can we put that in the atmosphere, Mr. Perry? We need that.
how crazy would that be?
I mean, thank you so much, Karen, for talking to us today. I'm so excited about everything that you have going on. But before you go, can you play a little rapid fire with me before you leave?
Woo, okay. All
Are
right.
you
Ashley.
down?
Whew, okay.
Don't worry. We'll be quick. Okay, favorite city?
New York.
Oh, why? Not
I love
Detroit?
energy. I love Detroit. You know, it's my hometown, but New York has this energy that's unmatched. I mean, as soon as you touch down at the airport, it just grabs you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Oval or Stargirl?
Answer. I'm gonna say the Oval only because we're premiering tonight.
I love it. Favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday would have to be my birthday. It is a national holiday, April 16th, y'all.
Yes, we're ready for it. What's your must-have item in your purse?
My lip gloss.
Oh, I
I
love
have to
it.
have lip gloss.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I see myself producing and directing.
Maybe a musical.
Maybe a musical.
Hey,
Yeah.
Karen, I'm so excited again. I love your energy. All of the best to you. You deserve it all. Congratulations. I'll be watching tonight. I know everybody on here is going to be watching tonight. We can't wait to see what Victoria's up to and the rest of the
I can't either. Thank you so much, Ashley. You have been a joy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you have to come back and talk about Stargirl.
I will.
Okay.
Anytime.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Where's the buzz?
Oh, yeah.
Where is the buzz you said
We used to be a
was
city
mine,
group.
oh mine?
Where is the buzz?
Ooh.